with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call, and you can too. Get a free consultation with QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau, and here's why you want to give QC Kinetics a call if you're dealing with joint pain, because you can't do anything you love to do, especially the outdoor stuff during the summer. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulders. Free consultation at 904-274-5522. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, no downtime. And QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way, and there is. Call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. 904-274-5522.
Sell your home with the most trusted and experienced real estate team in the U.S. Mark Spain Real Estate gets it done every time. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. When you get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and avoid the hassle of costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Ruth, said, "It was wonderful working with Mark Spain Real Estate. This was my first time using a realtor when selling, and they made the process extremely easy. I always felt like they had my back. Thanks so much, Mark Spain Real Estate." Don't worry about the inconveniences of selling your home. The guaranteed offer makes selling your home easy. I've been serving homeowners for nearly 30 years and have helped over 58,000 satisfied clients sell their home. I know what matters most: a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer will be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Become a foster parent with National Youth Advocate Program. We're licensing motivated foster homes who can foster sibling groups, teenagers, pregnant and parenting teens, youth with medical needs, and Spanish-speaking youth. National Youth Advocate Program provides 24/7 support to our foster families, comprehensive educational opportunities, and a holistic approach so they can better care for youth experiencing foster care. We'll help you get started at fostercareinfo.org or call 877-NYAPCAN for more information.
Every year in Florida, 200 children and teens die due to firearm-related injuries. Know the basics of firearm safety and talk to your children about the risks. Learn more at go.baptistjacks.com/gunsafety.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NBA's conference finals tip off tomorrow night with Game 1 in the East between the Celtics and Pacers in Boston. ESPN's Shannon Sharp says the time is now for the Celtics.
At some point in time, you got to kick the door in and go inside. And there are no excuses. I don't want to hear nothing. If they do not win the championship this year, it is a failure of epic proportion.
Shannon Sharp on First Take. The Western Conference Finals start Wednesday night with the Timberwolves hosting the Mavericks. Every NBA playoff game the rest of the way is right here on ESPN Radio. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Oilers and Canucks play Game 7 in Vancouver tonight. Canucks winger Brock Besser not expected to play with a blood clotting issue. Coverage at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Our TJ Quinn reports MLB is starting an investigation into allegations that former Angels infielder David Fletcher gambled with the same illegal bookie as Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Mitsuhara.
Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. That's Barbasol Shaving Cream, an American classic for over 100 years. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
Ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Good Monday afternoon. Hello there. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. I am the aforementioned Aaron Schachter. With me, as per usual, super producer Brian Middleton. Having a day. I just made that up. I don't really know if you're having a day or not.
Okay.
You doing all right?
Hey, man.
Haven't really gotten to check in with you. We just spent all the time talking trash about sports. We didn't really check in with each other. How you doing, Brian, is really what I want to know. You doing good, bud?
There are people on the earth doing worse.
Oh.
For sure.
That's the optimist view right there.
For sure.
Yeah. Am I one of them?
I don't know. After the weekend you had, yeah, maybe.
Did I have a bad weekend?
Maybe. I don't know if it was bad.
Yeah,
disappointing.
I didn't think it was bad.
You know?
I'll tell you what I did this weekend.
What's that?
If you want to waste 30 seconds here.
30 seconds turns into 20 minutes. Let's go.
I went to a graduation.
Oh, congratulations.
High school, it wasn't mine, but I appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
A high school graduation.
There you go.
First thing I got to say, shout out to all the boys who have the same haircut. Every single one of these guys.
What does that mean?
Oh, every single one of these guys has the same floppy haircut. Everyone. Now, maybe this is something that happened all through time. You go to a school and all the boys look the same. I'm just saying, my wife sent me a TikTok after we started talking about it.
Okay.
Because this guy's got a theory on TikTok, and I'm with him. Every teenage boy right now looks like an alpaca. Like a fuzzy little dew over the top of their head, and it kind of comes down. It's kind of in between the Bieber swoop look from back in the day and like a fuzzy mullet, a little of both. I think they call it the
mullet,
the swoop.
Bieber swoop.
I guess it is what it is, right? I'm a boomer for not understanding.
Oh, you moved up a couple of generations.
Just like I'm a boomer for wearing no-show socks.
Yeah.
All the high school kids wearing calf socks now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy.
When I was young, that's what boomers wore. That's
you know what I mean?
That's what my grandfather wore. Calf socks.
They're
Look
the
at
real
this guy.
boomers.
What is he got compression socks on? Look at that boomer. No, I'm the old guy.
Show those ankles.
I'm the old guy.
Huh? Show those calves.
But shout out to Tristan, the big graduate.
Oh yeah, congrats, Tristan.
Yeah, man.
That's who again?
That's
the
my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay.
One of many.
Hey, brother-in-law's in high school.
Bro,
that's impressive.
I've got a long
line.
line.
That family tree one day. Somebody was like,
so many branches. Ooh, buddy, so many branches on that family tree. I have a long line of brother-in-laws.
Oh boy.
You ever need a starting five? I'll help you. And all of them are high school athletes.
Really?
They like wrestling though. So
okay. Hey man, trained with wrestlers before playing football?
You did.
Won't do it ever again.
Oh, they're a little too physical for you.
Nah, it's not that. It's like
their hugs are a little aggressive.
When carrying people on your back up stadiums, I'm like, bruh, I carry myself up the stadium badly. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Hop on. First of all, pause. Secondly, nah, dog. No way. I'm not hopping on, and you not hopping on me.
What a great T-shirt that would make. First of all, pause.
Yeah.
Second of all, nah, dog.
Yeah. But wrestlers, man, they different, man. Built different.
They are built different. No, it wasn't in a good. I'll tell you, it's very funny. You get in the house, everyone's just talking regular adult conversation, and out of nowhere, the three of them start beating the snot out of each other in the living room. For fun. Yeah, just rumbling like a bunch of wild cats all over the room. For fun. Everyone's laughing. I'm like, nobody wants to? Okay.
That's called I'm on somebody else's insurance.
Yeah.
That's what that's called right there.
That's right. I also heard all the young folks talking about Shaq. You go, did you know Shaq was a DJ? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I knew that. I remember back in the day there was some video going around. He was DJing with Paris Hilton. And they looked at me like, who? And I was like, never mind, guys. I'm out of here. I'm too old for this conversation.
You should have hit him with, did you know Shaq was a rapper?
No, they definitely don't know that.
Yeah. They don't know Paris Hilton. They don't know that.
They barely know he's a basketball player. They know he's like an analyst on TNT.
Like, they're probably like, hey, he was in the NBA, right? I see him on the NBA show. He was in the NBA, right?
Yeah. But overall, it was a decent weekend.
Where'd you get him? Can I ask that? Is that too personal? You seem like a good gift giver. And
I am normally a good gift giver.
A big moment for a young kid. I'll ask you in the break.
Yeah.
I won't put you on the spot.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Did a little car shopping this weekend, too.
You got him a car?
No.
Nah, we talking about this right now.
For those of you out there looking for a car right now, just some of these dealers are getting aggressive. They are getting super aggressive with a lot of these prices.
Yeah.
I'm going to have those car guys back. You remember the Ray and Zach Shefska?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I had them on a couple of months ago when we were doing the car show.
Yeah.
YouTube influencers, but those are the guys that own CarEdge.com, really good about finding where the deals are to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there are deals to be had out there. I just got to find them. I'm just on the hunt. If you know where the deals are, hook me up, man. 904-362-9901. We'll share them with everybody else. I'll tell you who's dealing, though.
Who?
You want to segue.
There we go.
You want to pivot back to what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Trev is out there at OTAs dealing.
Hey.
Day one of the offseason activities. And, man, the whole stadium was a buzz. Lots of people in attendance today shooting video, taking pictures, blogging about it, doing reports from the sideline. Everybody's excited. Every practice pass. Did you see that dime? Every catch. Holy smokes. Remember last year, Calvin Ridley was like comeback player of the year in the preseason. Everyone was all about it. We're getting a little bit of that already, day one. But you can't blame people, bro. Everyone's excited. Everyone is super excited to see Trev with no knee brace on. I am. He looked like the Bionic Man towards the end of last year.
Okay.
It's nice to see him flowing out there with no restrictions. It's nice to see Christian Kirk back on the field. Felt like ages. It's great. It's cool to see Brian Thomas Jr. out there running routes.
How did Jags great Zay Jones look? How's he looking?
Why are you trying to do this to me, man?
I'm just asking.
Why are you trying to do this?
I'm asking you, going down the list of people who have given their blood, sweat, and tears to the organization. I just wanted to.
I was in a good mood.
Yeah.
You're sitting here trying to bring me down.
Zay Jones is there. We got a Jones at wide receiver on the.
You're trying to make
Zay, right?
You're trying to make me sad right now.
No.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't
Brian
do that
Thomas Jr., though, looked great, huh?
I mean, for
4-1 speed.
You saw a couple of catches. You saw a drop. So I don't know if we're supposed to freak out that he had a drop.
Uh-huh.
I remember 2 years ago, we had a call on the old Brent and Friends show. Someone was freaking out because Trev sailed a pass in practice. And Brent went on an all-time rant that day. People calm down rant. I don't know if that's me. I kind of lean into the hysteria. You want to freak out that we made a wrong choice at, 23 for Brian Thomas Jr. because he dropped a pass today in practice? Have at it. I may egg you on a little bit.
Oh.
I'm just not going to buy in. It's practice. We're talking about practice, Brian.
We got to get that hot key, either me or you.
Not a game. Just practice. Just practice. But exciting nonetheless, right? And before the practice kicked off, we had a press conference today. You know I love me some press conferences. I go in with the scalpel and the microscope.
Yeah, you do.
I pick every letter out, reading between the lines, trying to translate, even when there's not anything to be translated.
They would call that making that up.
Yeah, exactly. But we do. We have Doug's comments from the press conference, and we can go through those. And I split them into 3 categories. Also, Ryan Nielsen with press conference today. We'll listen to those cuts tomorrow. I want to take some time, soak in the things that Ryan Nielsen said, because I think a lot of people are really curious about what Ryan Nielsen's bringing to the table and then how everyone's reacting to what he's bringing to the table, meaning the players and really the new coaches as well. But how is everyone coming together? How are they coalescing around Ryan Nielsen's new scheme and the new defensive philosophy? And so I'll dig in on that and then bring it to you tomorrow, and we'll have some fun with those cuts. But today we'll hear from Doug really on 3 umbrella topics. The first one is easy. It's a couple of questions on Trev and the progress of the deal. We'll get to that in the 4 o'clock hour because over the weekend, Jeremy Fowler was on Sports Center, I think Sunday morning. He filed a report, latest update on the quarterback contract, specifically Trev and Tua. Those are the 2 biggies left, I guess, in the immediate future. Even though Trev doesn't have to be immediate, entering his 4th year. You got time there. Still, I think everyone wants to get it done. We heard from Doug. We've heard from Trent. We've heard from Trev. Everyone wants to get it done. Did I say entering his 3rd year? No. I said entering his 4th year. All right, good. And then you got Tua, who it's been reported is possibly in line for a $55 million a year deal. And then Jeremy Fowler had a very interesting report about how they're nowhere close to that. And it might be a problem. Oh, you take some pride in that, do you?
Somebody around here with some common sense.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know it was the Miami front office.
I don't know if you should start awarding common sense to anyone just yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they may change their mind on that one. So Trev was one of the categories Doug talked about. We'll play some of those cuts in the 4 o'clock hour. Also, you have these philosophical questions, these broad questions. Did you see the schedule? How do you feel about this? And defensive philosophy, that kind of thing. But a large part of the press conference was about updating very specific players. Guys like Travis Etienne, Mitch Morse, Devon Hamilton got a very nice review. Brian Thomas. He even got a little piece on Gabe Davis. Not much to talk about there. Devin Lloyd was another one that I was somewhat interested in and got decent answer, I thought, on. Josh Allen and more. And so that's kind of where I want to start. I want to start on some of the individual players. Now, OTAs, they are getting to compete a little bit against each other. That wasn't what you saw in the rookie minicamp. It wasn't what you saw in any of these practices so far. At this point, I believe it's phase 2. They're starting to do a little bit of lining up against each other. But really, you're still kind of, it's not the heavy competition. I mean, any highlights we're going to see here are nice, but you shouldn't think for a second that this is the kind of thing you're going to see during the season. It's not really how it works that way. And again, if you need any further proof than that, just harken back to preseason hero from last year, Calvin Ridley. I mean, everyone was hyper excited about what this man could bring to the table. The speed, the reach, the hands. We saw it.
Yeah.
We got excited about it.
Hey, man.
And then it just kind of went away for a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. And then wasn't was it the year before 2022 OTAs, there was like a 5th or 6th on the depth chart wide receiver that made a ton of noise in the preseason. I'm remembering the name Tim Scott. Was Tim Scott on the roster here in Jacksonville? Do you remember?
Nah.
I think Laquan Treadwell was another one of these guys who in the preseason made a catch or two, and it was like, oh, we might have something here. And then it just didn't pan out.
At all.
I'll have to go back and look at some of those pieces. I just remember everyone getting hot to trot on this guy. And I remember talking to Casey going, we are talking about the number 5 receiver on the depth chart, right? Like, we're not going to see this dude unless someone gets injured.
Right.
Unless you're running 4 wide or something.
Yeah, and even then,
you may not see him.
Yeah.
And that's what really OTAs are. Spring hope springs eternal when it comes to the OTAs, as it tends to do with everything in the offseason. Go ahead.
So you're not taking anything super positive from OTAs, but if it looked bad, you could take something negative from that.
I do take something positive from these things.
Oh, you do take something
Don't get me wrong. Like seeing guys who maybe were injured last year, specifically like knee or leg injuries, be able to move again, you take a breath of relief.
Yeah, but I mean like performance-wise, not from the guys who were kind of made, but from some of these other guys or maybe the incoming rookie.
Look, if Brian Thomas Jr. looks super twitchy and quick on everything he's lining up on, I'm like, no, this is good news.
Well, now, hold on now. But you just said it's not really competition. We already know this. This is why he was drafted as the number 1 pick.
But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, that's the product we bought. Because you don't know.
Well, no, you're supposed to know.
No, you don't know until you get out there.
But you can't tell from this. That's my point. I'm like, you're not taking anything.
But I will get happy when I see good things. So would you. Looking at good highlights, you're not going to get happy?
From this OTA stuff.
Little toe taps?
I don't think so. I think you just got to be even keel. That's all I'm saying.
I love me a good sideline toe tap highlight. And then you don't need anything but a pass and a catch for that. You don't need to have defense on you.
It feels like you were saying, don't get your hopes up.
Well, I am to a degree. I am to a degree.
I'm just with you. I'm just agreeing with you.
No. What I'm saying is this.
All of a sudden, you're saying this is right before the last cut.
Not true.
Because OTA is right before the last cut.
No. Well, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's exciting to see guys perform well. But every one of these guys has made it this far to an NFL roster or OTA tryout or whatever you want to call it. OTA activity is really a better way to put it. So they're good. They're good at what they do. You're not going to find a scrub, like maybe compared to another player you love, you would say this guy isn't as good. But for the most part, 100% of the guys who are out there are hyper-athletic beasts who would destroy any regular person at this sport.
Okay, in comparison to the average Joe like me or you.
Right.
But if we're saying scrub in a non-disrespectful way, but just, based off of their peers, I think there's plenty of them out there. Again,
I'm not saying there are no bad.
Not from me and you or the average person walking or watching the game.
I'm not saying there are no bad players or players who aren't as good as others in football. What I'm saying is when you see the highlight in OTAs, if I'm seeing a guy run a route, jump up and catch a ball, I'm like, okay, fine. If I'm seeing Trev throw a pass, whether it's accurate or not, I'm like, all right, fine. We know what Trev is. If I see a toe tap on the sidelines, I'm like, ooh, that looked nice. All right. If I see a blazing speed down the sideline, I'm like, can't wait to see that in the game.
Okay. But see, like, that's starting down the slippery slope of hope and belief. When you see it in OTAs, and you had a very just sane point about 3 minutes ago when you were just like, hey, man, when people are just like, hey, the fifth person off, the fifth wide receiver in the depth chart in May at an OTA, did you see what he did? Like, you can't do that. Not as Jags fans.
You can. It just doesn't.
Not as Jags fans.
It's not
can't
worth
do that.
much. The exchange rate is very low on that.
Wait till week 1 to start believing. You can look at things and be like, hey, I believe that's what we basically drafted this person for or signed them in free agency for.
Tim Jones is who I'm thinking of, not Tim Scott.
Tim Scott was South Carolina, right?
Tim Scott is a senator.
And I was like, okay.
Tim Scott is a Republican senator, I think, in South Carolina.
I know Aaron's ballot now. No, I'm just here we go.
Tim Jones was the dude that was lighting up. Exactly. Tim Jones was the dude lighting them up in the preseason with like long stretch, super fast. But
he's still on the squad.
Yeah. But what'd you see from him last year?
Well, I was trying to do the Tim Jones, like the Mike Jones thing, but.
Mike Jones. He started 2 games Tim Jones did last year, right? He dressed for 17. He started 2 of them. 18 targets on the whole season. Like, that guy isn't making a giant impact on the team. Shout out to Tim Jones. No offense.
That's way too late. You got to preface with that.
This is what people are going to get excited about during OTAs because we know who Christian Kirk is. Like, we know what he's bringing to the table.
So, so if you're basically an unknown or not proven yet, OTAs ain't
your time
not
to
gonna
shine.
Do anything to make you happier about a player.
It's your time to shine. That's your time. If you're an unknown or someone out there to prove something new, if your name was Jarvis Landry or if your name is Brian Thomas Jr., whatever, OTAs are for you. Right? But if you're going out there and you're Trev and you miss a pass, everybody, it's okay. It's okay. If you're Christian Kirk trying to brush the rust off, it's okay.
So then it's backward. I had it backwards. If you see something kind of negative but nothing too out of the ordinary of a natural football play, like a missed throw or a dropped ball by a made person like Trevor or Christian Kirk.
I like how you call them made people.
Oh, for the Jags.
Yeah, the Jag fathers. I like it.
Then you're going to be like, hey, number one, that happens, and this is still the guy for this squad right here. But if Tim Jones is out there toe tapping,
doing his thing,
reverses, shaking people out of their cleats, and it's May, you like, hey man, listen, if you make the squad, maybe show me something, but I'm not going to get too happy about that.
I'm rooting for you,
but I don't believe in you.
I'm just not booking travel based on it, is all I'm saying.
I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, that's what you're saying.
It isn't, but okay. I like that we're getting closer to the same page. We're working on it. We're working on it on the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901. I promise when we come back, we will actually play some of these cuts.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and breezy for your Monday with a few isolated showers pushing in off the Atlantic. It's going to be mild today with our daytime highs only making the low to mid 80s. Tonight will be partly cloudy with once again an isolated coastal shower, and then more of the same on Tuesday. Partly to mostly sunny, a bit breezy with highs in the mid 80s and an isolated shower. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sema.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital, CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Jacksonville Coogies. It's me, Soccer Sam from Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizzeria is now open in Jacksonville, Florida. Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. $10 daily deals, dine-in, beer and wine, and delivery. Salvatores.com.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Downtown Jack's big on potential, slow on progress.
We're so ready for something to develop.
But could Tampa have the blueprint to save us from a doomed downtown?
That singular event transformed our city.
I'm Action News Jack's John Bachman in downtown Tampa. I talked one-on-one with the former mayor here to get the secret to turning renderings into reality.
We refer to it as an overnight success, 40 years in the making.
Renderings to reality. Today at 5:45 on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Oh, can I buy a vowel?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Oh, can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave. Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
UNCF salutes HBCUs. Each year, UNCF awards more than 10,000 scholarships and helps 60,000 students build better futures. Go to uncf.org right now to donate. Remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. Come have lunch with us every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and listen to the Young and Norvell Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. Let's jump into this Doug Pederson press conference because a lot of players that I'm curious about the updates on, and Doug was handing them out like Halloween candy. I want to jump in on that. My hotkey's up, Brian. A little bass in my headphones. Let me get that snare, too. Doing the whole producing thing right here. Don't worry about it. You guys wouldn't know. Brian knows what's up. Let's start with Devon Hamilton. Because Devon Hamilton was a guy who had a lot of question marks around him over the past year or so with the medical issues. And we do have an update from Doug Pederson on not only what it's looked like, but what he's expecting out of Devon for this season.
More like 22 than 23 with him. The old Devon, is back, and he's got great energy out there through phase 2, through phase 1 and 2. He's excited to be back on the field. I think he's excited for his health, as well. I mean, we all know that was a scary deal that he went through, and but he's really worked hard. He's worked hard to put himself in this position, and just look again for great things and for him to get back to his old self he was a couple years ago.
More like 22 than 23. I mean, that's good news. You want to hear that when talking about Devon Hamilton. And if he's able to put it together and knock that rust off in a year where you expect dominant things from Josh Allen, near dominant things from Trayvon Walker, dominant things from Eric Armstead. I mean, this could be a nasty looking front. Dominant things from another guy who's not necessarily normally on that front, but we've all been wondering, is he going to be participating a little bit more so than in years past? I'm talking, of course, about Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd was brought to this team out of college. A lot of people were wondering if the Jags were going to send him at the quarterback because he did some of that, and he did it well. And we just didn't see that from Devin Lloyd in the first year or two. And that's not necessarily on him. It's just not what they were asking him to do. But it does sound like Ryan Nielsen may have other ideas about that. And Doug was asked, what about Devin? What's the impressions on Devin going into year 3? What are we going to be expecting from the young man? What is he focused on?
I think Devin's had a really good offseason. Obviously year 3, new system. So how fast and, can he learn it?
Which, by the way, is the question not just for Devin, but for everybody on that defense. Really, especially the secondary, which struggled probably the most out of all the position groups. Now, how quick can you learn what Ryan Nielsen is bringing to the table? Because if you can, it'll work out better for you than if you can't, obviously. But if you can, then the Jaguars are going to be looking good this year. And if they can, if there's a struggle there halfway through the season until everyone gets on the same page, and playoffs become that much harder to get to.
But I think, too, seeing himself on film, just continuing to get better and improving, you're seeing that out of him. The challenge for all those guys really on defense is just the terminology and just picking up a new scheme. And Devin has done a nice job in phase 2. What I've seen just watching him out there and, talking to Matt House and listening to him talk, and Devin's in a good place.
That's great. He's staying close to the coaches. He's really trying to be a sponge and learn it all up. Here's my concern. Devin Lloyd was a top 10 linebacker, according to PFF, last year. In the entire league. That's not an AFC South thing. That's not an AFC thing. In the entire league, top 10 linebacker. So to change up the scheme, to change up the calls, to change up what he became not just used to, but proficient in, it's a little bit concerning to me. It's a big piece.
You think he's going to take a step back?
Well, yeah, it's a big piece of the defense you want to be sure-handed on.
Right.
There are certain aspects of that defense you're not worried about. I don't care what the scheme. I'm not worried about Foye Oluokun learning something. I'm not worried about Josh Allen not performing. I'm no longer not worried about Trayvon Walker not performing.
because they have been, well, not Trayvon, but.
Trayvon was consistent last year. You could say it.
Well, you know, Devin Lloyd was consistent last year.
He was. This is my point. I'm a little worried because Devin's job is changing. Trayvon's job isn't changing.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so you hope it doesn't take away from what he's been building on. But again, this is, I think, more in line with his wheelhouse and what we expected when he was drafted, when they jumped back up to go get him.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out. Speaking of Josh Allen, a couple of comments here about Josh Allen. I thought it was kind of interesting. You know, Josh is doing his own thing out in Arizona, as he tends to do, I think, every season. And so he was, Doug was asked, any offseason updates on Josh Allen? Since he signed the big contract, is he doing anything different this offseason? Or are we seeing more of the same?
More of what he's done, trains out in Arizona. And, he was here for the first couple of weeks, which was great to have him around his teammates. And the one thing that I don't worry about, Josh knows Josh, and he knows how to get himself prepared and ready, and he always comes back in shape and ready to go. So it's a time for him to really get healthy and fresh and be ready to go.
It was interesting to me to hear coaches navigate around players who do their own training in the offseason. Because you got to believe every coach wants every guy there.
Yeah, I would think so.
Like, I have no doubt in my mind Doug Pederson trusts Josh Allen to be a professional, to do the work when he's away.
But if he had it his way.
I think if he had it his way, Josh would be there.
Yeah.
I think everyone would. Because you want the whole team together on the same page. More time together, the more time learning together. Also, I'm sure Doug and Ryan Nielsen and really every coach would love Josh Allen in the building talking to the young guys.
Mm-hmm. The continuity that builds.
Yeah. The leadership, the mentorship. Yes. I'm sure they would love Josh Allen in the building hanging with guys like Eric Armstead, who have been to the late rounds of the playoff, if not the Super Bowl, who they brought in specifically to lead leaders. Like, I'm sure they want him there enjoying and sharing in that.
Of course. Good points you made. But, of course, if they're a bit superstitious, it'd be like, Josh, whatever you did last year to get 17 and a half sacks,
do it again.
Do that exact thing. Don't you come here until August or late July. Do you hear me? But, yeah, I would think that they would want everybody in the building if they had it their way, of course.
Another thing that was asked of Doug, the expectations on a guy like Travis Etienne. Last year, before going into the season, Doug said he thought Travis Etienne could rush for 1,700 yards. We thought we were going to see something like that early on. I mean, he was getting all the yards and all the carries.
Like 1,700, like American yards? Like our metric of yards? Are you talking that across the pond? Is that different?
No.
Okay.
It was just interesting because when we were talking about that last year, we were like, doesn't that seem like a lot of work for a guy on a passing offense? But they were doing it.
Yeah.
First 5-6 weeks, he was leading the league in touches. He was getting all kinds of usage. And then it kind of all fell apart for the team. But what about for Travis? Obviously, they've got Tank Bigsby. And I think the optimal plan from the Jags with Tank and Travis is to spell Travis with a little bit of Tank, a little change of pace. They got Dearness Johnson. We saw last year they primarily like to use him as a blocker there on those passing sets. But what about Travis Etienne? You looking for another 1,700 rushing yard prediction or what? What do we got?
Yeah, it's hard to put necessarily a rep count on it, but we you do want to keep him as healthy as you can throughout the season, and that's why we've talked about this too as a staff and myself, making sure Tank gets opportunities to get out there and take some of the pounding off of Travis. But again, just taking another step, he's really, I think there's more out there that he can get yard wise, and it'd definitely be an emphasis, utilizing him more so in the run game,
as opposed to the passing game. I'm not sure what Doug's trying to say right there. Is there more he can do yard-wise? Well, certainly rushing yards. Rookie year, 1,125. Last year, 1,008.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's probably more that can be done there. The attempts were up, despite the yards being down fairly significantly. He goes 220 to 267. 2.1. It's not fun.
Oh.
Not fun. How about on the receiving side? 45 targets rookie year. 73 targets last year.
Yeah.
Was the more yards there? 58 catches, 476 yards? I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think the team would be totally fine bringing those targets back down. And that's not as a function of we want Travis with the ball in his hands less. It would be a function of the team is operating as it's supposed to. The ball is being thrown to the receivers. The ball is being run by the running back. We don't need to throw screens every time we have a third down because we can't get something else done.
Yeah, I mean, he's about as dynamic a player there is in the league. I get it. Stats may not say that, but if you've watched this guy in person.
Maybe not the averages, but the stats do show that he's got the ability.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the ability is there. We've seen it in large swaths since he's been here. And then, it's gone cold for reasons outside of his control. If you're talking about, man, maybe the blocking wasn't there or dealing with injuries at certain parts. But, I mean, having a guy as dynamic as ETN in your backfield, I don't know, Aaron. I would say that they may want to keep the passing targets right at that amount right there. I mean, like, listen, I get it. You got Tank Bigsby to give him a spell, maybe Dearness Johnson, but we're trying to work you because the ball in your hands means that you could basically, depending on what the other 10 guys do on offense, but with the ball in your hands, you can make a couple of guys miss, and you have the ability to take that to the house.
For sure.
At any moment.
I don't disagree with that at all. But we're not talking about a Christian McCaffrey situation where the team is looking at him 10 times a game in the passing game. I mean, he never had a game with more than 6 targets last year. And that was good for 73 targets. And you're saying you'd like them to up that, or it doesn't matter to you?
Well, I was just because referencing, you said they may want to bring that back down to his to the 40.
Not that they may want
targets.
to. I think they would be happy to bring it down from 73. I don't think they have a plan to do something like that. I don't think they're having meetings like, hey, how do we get these targets down on ETN? I don't think that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying at 73, which seems like a decent amount of targets for a pass-catching back.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Eckler at 100-something targets, McCaffrey at 100-something targets. That's certainly not the game plan for ETN most of the time.
Okay.
But at 73, I think it's a good amount. I bet you the Jaguars would like to bring that down even lower if they had their way, if everything was optimal. That would be closer to 50 than it is to 80. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
Mitch Morse, new center on the team. We've heard a lot about Mitch Morse, about what kind of guy he is, what kind of leader you're bringing onto the team. Obviously, we know he's skilled with the accolades he brings with him. But what about the update on Mitch Morse? Last time Doug talked, Doug hadn't really seen Mitch play with the rest of the team yet. Now he's gotten to put his peepers on it a little bit. So what is Mitch Morse bringing to the table recently?
You know, someone brings a lot of experience to that position and to that group. Been really good with Luke. Those two have been, working extremely close, obviously, and Mitch has been a great resource for Luke, and it's been good, and that's what you want to see out of veteran players. Same with Brandon Sheriff. I mean, he's another one with some of the young offensive linemen that we do have.
This answer was interesting to me, Brian. Allow me to translate and read between the lines, despite there not really being lines to read between.
Please do.
When you talk about a center on a football team, you specifically, well, how do you refer to them?
Rhetorical?
No. What do you call them? You call them something specific.
Me, Brian Middleton.
Brian Middleton. I've heard you say it on the show before.
Well, I created and coined the phrase, the quarterback of the offensive line.
You sure you created that?
Coined it and created. Created and coined.
Watch out for those lawsuits coming. But yeah, no, that's what you said. Quarterback of the offensive line. When I think of a center and who he communicates with, not just other linemen, but with his quarterback as well, what you didn't hear from Doug was about Mitch and Trevor getting on the same page or working towards that. You very specifically heard somebody else's name. Very specifically. He started off, Mitch is a great guy. You guys all know what he brings to the table in leadership. That was almost like, it wasn't necessarily circle talk, as you like to say, because he was saying something. But we've heard this now 4 or 5 times. Him working with Luke was going to be a benefit of bringing Mitch in. But the way Doug said it there, it sounds as if the hope is that they kind of resurrect what they thought they had in Luke Fortner. Like, obviously not this year. They've got Mitch Morse. But who knows what the future holds? That would be surprising to me if after starting for 2 years and taking so many lumps from the fans and the media, to them come back and then reattain the starting role at center.
That would surprise you if that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it would go over well with fans, even if he earned it. Even if he was deserving of it. I think as soon as they go, we're going to bring Luke Fortner back to start at center, I think you have a large contingent of people going, oh, here we go again.
Maybe initially, but by the time that actually hits the field, if that scenario would play out, which wouldn't surprise me, if he stays with the team, if he shows to be continue to be a great learner, a good teammate, trying to grow into the position, whatever the coaches are asking him to do, when Morris is done here or whatever that situation looks like, whether he's on the team or he's injured or he goes in free agency somewhere else, and then you got Luke right there, I think that there would be a comfortability factor with you would say, especially if we still got Coach Pederson still there. Because it's just like, all right, clearly stuff is going right. We got the same coaching staff. We still got Fortner here. Things were still going right there. He wanted to be here. And now the coaching staff believes that he's the guy that should step back into the role that he filled for 2 seasons. I think it would actually play into his favor more. There would be some doubt. But overall, I think that the fan base would be like, all right, let's see what you got.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Not only am I not buying it, the first game where Trev gets 2 sacks or Etienne has trouble running the ball, even if it's not Fortner's fault.
If it's from the edge, is a DB sacking him.
Doesn't
Look
matter.
at Fortner.
Doesn't matter. They're going to be calling out Fortner.
Yeah, okay.
And that's not a reason not to start the guy. If he earns it, he earns it. Like, more power to him. God bless him. I'm not buying that everyone's going to be okay on the other side of that. But hey, everyone's got hopes. Everyone's got plans and dreams. And at OTAs is where they spring eternal. 904-362-9901. If you were looking at some of the highlights being posted from OTAs, what are your thoughts? Curious where you guys are at on OTAs. Do you even care? You got to care. Football fans care. Curious about the not diehard football fan. Is this just going to pass you by for the next couple of days or what? Back in a couple of minutes on the Aaron Schachter Show.
Let's face it, work sucks, but you do get a lunch break. That's where the Young and Norvell Show comes in weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690, featuring me, Terry Norvell, and former Gator basketball star and current SEC Network analyst Patrick Young. Let's face it, Hollywood has been fresh out of ideas for 25 years. So don't waste your valuable lunch break on the same old tired TV and movie shows. Tune in to the Young and Norvell Show, where we promise to make you laugh, think, get angry, but most important, you will have fun. It will quickly become your favorite part of the day. The Young and Norvell Show, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
Howard works from home. I try to keep things professional. But stuff happens. Now Howard and his wife are working with Community First on a home equity loan to make renovations to his home with no closing costs and special low rates, so Howard can build the office of his dreams.
So live your best life
with Community First. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With non-stop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Spring has sprung, and tax return season is here. Now's the time to beautify your home by replacing your old windows with new energy-efficient, easy-to-clean windows from American Window Products. Keep the summer heat out with special glass packages, including low E3 and argon gas. American Window Products only uses the highest quality products and professionally trained employees to install. Call now to find out why they were voted the #1 window company in Jacksonville. 731-2247 for a free estimate, or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. We just love guys that listen to the Young and Norvell Show. Weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. 904-362-9901. OTA's day one. Thoughts on what you've seen online. The highlights, the excitement. What are you not excited for? I want to know all of it. Let's have the convo. We were digging on the Doug Pederson press conference, reviewing all the things he said about all these players that people had questions about. Travis Etienne, Mitch Morse, Devon Hamilton we heard about, Josh Allen, Devin Lloyd. A couple more that I thought were pretty interesting / revealing I want to get to. First of all, we can start with Brian Thomas Jr., the most, I guess the rookie with the most attention on him, obviously. A lot of people were very interested to see how Brian Thomas Jr. looked with Trev throwing him the balls. And I think you got what you expected. Questions, Brian?
No, it's your phrasing, but I
get
what you're saying.
Oh, okay,
No
cool.
problem, just your phrasing is very direct.
Really a smart guy. He's picked up the things that we've introduced to him. He's picked it up well. He's been able to retain it and recall it, and looks smooth on the field. And we're going to continue to work. And there's some things we got to work with that he didn't see in college defensively that he's going to see here in the NFL. And so we'll continue to work with him on that. But just again, it's just the amount of time he and Trevor have throwing. And Gabe, I think Gabe's in that same boat. They all got to get on the same page.
All right, so as far as Brian Thomas is concerned, it sounds like this. It sounds like so far so good, but he's got a long way to go before he's wide receiver 1 like everyone wants him to be. Did you get the same feeling?
Yeah, unfortunately.
No, he said, he can recall things. He's learning the things well. Fine, this is what we've asked him to do. He's done that. So far so good. There's a lot of stuff he didn't see in college we're showing him right now.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of learning to happen.
It could be worse. He could be Drake May.
It could be worse.
It could have been that kind of response. So, yeah.
It wasn't.
Honestly, Aaron, that's where you would probably think most rookies would be at, regardless of the position, coming into their first OTA, with their team. So, all right, let's see where his learning curve is at, and let's see where he can grow into over the summer, leading up to the season. Okay.
I don't think there's any doubt from anybody who understands this team that Christian Kirk is wide receiver 1 in that room and will be all season. You got doubts?
I don't have, because I was out of town, I didn't have time to do that sound effect where I said I'm going to go ahead and have a hotkey ready where when you make a statement, Aaron Schachter, that's so definitive and kind of not hot takey, I mean, especially the hot takey ones.
That is not a hot take.
Kind of just, you're too definite for that to be
true. That is not a hot take.
Well, put it in the hotkey. I'll make a list, and we'll keep a list of it. So when it goes wrong, I can bring it up, and we can work through where you were wrong. But okay.
Christian Kirk is the wide receiver 1 on this team.
He's my wide receiver number 1. You know what I mean? But when you draft.
I got a news flash for you.
What?
Evan Ingram is the wide receiver 2 on the team.
Did you play the breaking news sound? I didn't know. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's a tight end. He's a tight end. But if Trev is looking on 3rd and 6 and he needs a catch, and Kirk is double teamed or what have you, I bet he's looking at Evan before he's looking at Brian Thomas Jr. I'm buying that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's looking at Gabe Davis 3rd or 4th.
I don't know. 3rd or 4th. Okay, so where's Brian Thomas at on this list? Because you keep naming names, and now all of a sudden you said Tim Jones. Is Tim Jones next after that?
I said Tim Jones.
Okay.
No, but it depends on exactly what Doug said. Listen to the end of this. Listen to what Doug said at the end of this.
And but. Just again, it's just the amount of time he and Trevor have.
That's what it is.
Throwing, and Gabe. I think Gabe's in that same boat. They all got to get on the same page.
Kirk and Ingram has 3 years catching passes from this guy. The trust is at an absolute maximum volume. Gabe Davis doesn't have time catching throws from Trevor, but at least he's got NFL experience. At least Trevor understands what Gabe Davis is capable of. He's seen it.
Yeah, your argument is just that Brian Thomas Jr. is not the wide receiver 1, week 1 of the regular season, and probably not at all this season coming up. But by the time the following year comes, hey, guy, this is why we picked you in the first round.
I'm with you. He was drafted to be the guy.
This is fair.
Drafted to be the guy. By the way, we mentioned Gabe Davis at the end of that clip. Gabe Davis not in camp. And we did find out at the last Doug press conference.
What are you doing?
Gabe Davis, at the last press conference, we heard he was recovering from an injury.
Oh.
And so while he is still recovering, he's actually not there for a different reason. Here's Doug on Gabe.
Gabe had a child over the weekend, so.
Which sounds really painful because he's a guy. Just kidding. That's a joke, right? No? Okay.
A child over the weekend, so he'll be out today and tomorrow. He's still dealing with that.
How you like that, right? He's dealing with a baby.
Coach. He's dealing with that.
He's got a cranky baby. Being. Yeah. How much more do you think Gabe Davis wants to be at OTAs than he wants to be dealing with a newborn right now?
You tell me. I don't know.
I will tell you. As a dad, I had 3 of these things. I'm telling you, I would have rather have been at OTAs more than taking care of every single one of these kids.
Out there sweating with a bunch of others, just men just out in the sun, huh?
Rather do that than
catching the balls.
Sweating in the changing room, changing diapers. Gabe Davis having to wake up at 12 midnight and 2 a.m. and 4:30.
Instead of bonding with your newborn child. I got you, man.
No, it feels like bonding when you're sitting on the couch and goo-goo gaga-ing at each other.
Right?
Yes,
And then what you tell me? Skin to skin.
It does not feel like bonding when you're waking up at 3:30 in the morning because the baby doesn't know how to fart yet. Which is that's what happens, Brian. They don't understand the pain in their stomach.
So they don't know to release it.
They don't understand.
Oh man, that must be a life-changing experience.
Oh my God, you gotta start bicycling their legs. You got to start bending them and stuff. You bend the babies a little bit.
Yeah.
You push that air out.
Let's see that bend one more time. What do you do?
You bend the baby in half. And then you push the legs up to its stomach. You do kicking motions. Don't you know nothing?
Not at all.
Give Gabe Davis a call. He'll tell you about it.
Okay, because he's not an OTA, so I know he's free.
He's definitely not free right now.
Did Doug Pederson said he handling that? He sounded a bit disgusted.
He said he's dealing with that.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's dealing with it.
Yeah, so he's dealing with that. The whole team's like, no, you take care of that.
Oh, Rudy Gobert. Energy over there.
Man, newborns, I'm so glad I'm done with that. Woo! Good stuff. Shout out to Gabe Davis, new dad. And shout out to the rest of you listening to the Aaron Schachter Show. We're going to take a little break for the Sports Center, but when we come back, more Trevor Lawrence contract talk. We got some comments from Doug Pederson, as well as a report from Jeremy Fowler. It's all coming up on the next hour of the Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You cool!
Today's contestant, an avocado consultant from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Dave Ortega. Okay, Dave, here's your question. Your house is not bad in the morning, but by the afternoon, your AC can barely keep up, even with the curtains closed. What do you do?
Oh, can I buy a vowel?
Not that kind of show, Dave.
Can I spin the wheel?
Yeah, we don't even have a wheel, Dave.
Can I phone a friend? Oh, can I call Bueller?
That's right, Dave! Call Bueller Air and Plumbing to assess your home's airflow and sunlight patterns, and let us optimize your air conditioning so that you are cool!
This is the happiest day of my life!
Well, you gotta get out more, Dave.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
If your body is starting to feel its age, it's time to fight back. BioTarget Regenerative Therapy targets pain at its source, rejuvenating your body's natural healing process. If you don't feel results after your first treatment, we'll refund the cost. It's our rapid results risk-free promise. End the creaks, crunches, and snaps in your joints. Call 904-92-REGEN. That's 904-92-REGEN to experience the transformative power of BioTarget for yourself. Targeted treatments, rapid recovery. Go biotarget.com for details.
Downtown Jack's big on potential, slow on progress.
We're so ready for something to develop.
But could Tampa have the blueprint to save us from a doomed downtown?
That singular event transformed our city.
I'm Action News Jack's John Bachman in downtown Tampa. I talked one-on-one with the former mayor here to get the secret to turning renderings into reality.
We refer to it as an overnight success, 40 years in the making.
Renderings to reality. Today at 5:45 on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
O'Reilly.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat?
I don't know. Why?
Peer pressure.
Oh. Good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat.
Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After the first day in NBA history to feature two road teams winning Game 7, the conference finals take the floor starting tomorrow in the East. The Celtics will host the Pacers. ESPN's Michael Wilbon.
I hope that we see the Pacers team that plays like they're dealing with house money. Free and easy, and we got nothing to lose. We're here at least a season too early or earlier than forecast, and just let it rip. I don't know if the Pacers are capable of that, but it would be fun to see them approach it that way.
Mike Wilbon, every game the rest of the way in the NBA playoffs is right here on ESPN Radio. Our Mark Schleybaugh reports Scottie Scheffler's arraignment is pushed back to June 3rd. It was originally set for tomorrow. Scheffler faces multiple charges. He was arrested Friday, just before the second round of the PGA Championship. Even though they lost 8 of their last 9 games last season, the Colorado Buffaloes sell out their football season tickets for the second year in a row. The Buffs go back to the Big 12 after 13 years in the Pac-12.
Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. That's Barbasol Shaving Cream, an American classic for over 100 years. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol.
Century Firearms invites you to visit our brand new location on San Jose Boulevard before our huge Father's Day sale. No one provides a more personalized experience combined with good prices and large selection. Go to jacksguns.com. Century Firearms, your trusted partner in protection.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
Ready? Yeah. Turn off your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
The psychosis sometimes of NFL fans believing in and trading in rumors is wild to me. We'll get back to the Jaguars stuff in a second. I was looking on Twitter, X. And the big story out of Vikings OTAs is that Justin Jefferson nowhere to be found. Obviously, Justin Jefferson looking for a new deal, about to sign probably the richest wide receiver deal in history. Nowhere to be found at OTAs. Someone spotted him in Jersey, in Florham Park.
Who is this?
Justin Jefferson.
Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about.
It's where the Jets have OTAs. And so people are like, well, if they can't come to a contract agreement with Jefferson, maybe he gets traded. Stop the nonsense. Justin Jefferson isn't going anywhere.
Not a place.
Not going anywhere.
Other than St. Paul, maybe.
Not when you just drafted J.J. McCarthy 3 rounds too high.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. You need Justin Jefferson.
Okay. You getting on my nerves with this J.J. McCarthy talk. Like, I can't imagine sports talk radio up in Minnesota right now. I'd be so angry. My blood pressure would be like 200 over 100. You'd be like, you about to stroke out, sir? Yes, J.J. McCarthy. That's who. Oh, boy.
Yeah, you get rid of Justin Jefferson with Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy in the quarterback room? Probably not. You got to beg him to stay. You need the help. Just wild hope and rumor that gets traded is very funny to me. Hey, I had 2 more cuts I wanted to get to before Trev because I thought they were somewhat revealing.
Okay.
Let's get to this first one. It's about Walker Little. Because this is one of these guys who I think is not necessarily been left by the wayside, but as of 2 seasons ago, we thought we had the left or right tackle of the future. I mean, Walker Little just battled through camp, through the season, showed his worth. Then we go into last offseason, Cam Robinson suspension. We're like, all right, no big deal. Walker's there. We got Walker. Then we come into this offseason, it's like, is Cam going to get cut or traded? We could save roughly $20 million there. We got Walker. The Jags didn't feel the same way. Jaguars like what they had in Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
They love what they have in Anton Harrison. They may even consider Anton Harrison to be the left tackle of the future. So where does that leave Walker Little? Well, Doug was asked a question. I thought it was a great question by the Jacksonville media today. What are your plans for Walker Little? What's the deal? Is he a swing tackle? Is he your backup left tackle? Is he your right tackle? If you like Cooper at left, is he your right tackle? Like, what are you doing with this guy? Because he's coming to the end of his contract too. Listen to this answer from Doug. You tell me if you're Walker Little and you hear the head coach say this, if you're getting excited about this football season.
I think he's got a great opportunity, to compete, and see, see where we're at. I mean, it's, we're blessed to have 3, tackles like we do, and of course Blake Hance can play, and the guys that have filled in, last year for us did a great job. But I think in Walker's case, it's a great opportunity to really compete and challenge and push, and that's the kind of the message to the guys is you can't get comfortable if you feel like you're a starter. You can't get comfortable because there's another guy that's pushing you. So again, depth charts don't matter this time of year as much as continuing to improve.
What do you think he meant? It sounds to me like, no, I bet Walker's really excited to be the backup pushing the starters to play better. That's what it felt like. And if I'm Walker Little, I'm like, no, I want to start. I'm the guy.
Yeah.
I've proved it. I mean, he did struggle a little bit last year, but he dealt with injuries.
You know what, Aaron? I realized during that soundbite, I drifted off a bit, Walker Little is the only other person I've ever heard named Walker besides Chuck Norris's character.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
Hey, listen, and I told you I was in Dallas this weekend, and I was humming that tune to myself multiple times, huh? And the eyes of the Rangers are upon you. Anything you do, he's going to see.
You're talking about first names, right? Because you got the very famous former police officer turned criminal, Paul Walker from Fast and Furious.
Okay, we're getting a bit dark there. I mean, I thought you were going to go.
Well, he did live. I was not.
Okay.
No, I was talking about Paul Walker.
Yeah.
Walker Hayes.
Never heard of him.
Singer.
Never heard of him. What's he sing?
He's my age. I got no idea. Walker Hines.
Duncan Hines' cousin?
Nope. It's American Railroad executive.
Never heard of the railroad.
No, you would have known. He lived from 1870 to 1930.
Never heard of the 1870s.
Like,
listen, man, when the eyes of the Rangers are upon you, anything you do, he's going to see.
Walker Hancock, born in 1901. It seems like it's an older person's name.
I'm just saying I like Walker Little because he makes me think about Walker, Texas Ranger.
What about T-Bone Walker? Blues guy.
Sounds fun. Never heard of him.
Well, if I'm Walker Little,
you want to start.
I'm feeling like the coach never heard of me either. I'm here to push Anton Harrison and Cam Robinson. Apparently.
Oh boy, yeah, that's crazy.
That
man.
would ruin my afternoon.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago, you're right. And
top of the world.
And hearing this response now, but could it just be that Doug is just non-committal about everything but Josh Allen in 16? Like that's it.
It could be. But if I'm telling you what I believe, my speculation, what I believe is that they're out on Walker Little. Is that he's got to come back and prove something because that contract is going to come to an end pretty soon. Here, what was he drafted in 21?
Yeah, I got to get this sound effect ready because you going in on a Monday. Okay, they're done with him, huh?
I just don't think they believe. I think last year he had the prime opportunity to own the spot. If he played left tackle, lights out, and then came in at left guard when they needed him, lights out. I have a feeling Cam Robinson's not on this football team this year.
Yeah, well, he did give some love to Blake Hance, though. Northwestern's Blake Hance, and I appreciate that.
And Cooper Hodges earlier. I think the Jaguars like what they feel is their depth at offensive line. But I think they are fairly certain when it comes to the bookends, it's Cam and Anton and nobody else.
They were like, Walker, you can go have a kid. You don't need to be here at OTAs. Go have a kid like Gabe and just
go help Gabe.
We'll meet you in August, maybe.
Can you go hold Gabe's kid so he can come to OTAs?
Pull this one because that was great just now. Yo, can you go get his location? All right, just clear it with the wife and you hold the kid.
The final non-Trevor cut I want to play. The final person Doug was giving comments about. He was asked about what are your first impressions of Ryan Nielsen over the last 3 months? Not a player, a coach. What are you seeing? Do you like what you see? Are you excited?
Outstanding job with the staff defensively, just getting those guys prepared and introducing his scheme and his philosophy to the defense. And then
it is important, I think, that the first thing Doug mentions, right off the top of his head, the first thought that screams out from his mouth is the guy was great at preparing everybody. Because you do want that when you're bringing in new stuff. You need a teacher. And it sounds like that's what they got right now.
And then preparing the players. What I've seen, during phase 2, there's a lot of teaching and coaching going on that these guys need. And I think just the way he approaches each day, as a learning opportunity and a teaching, moment. And
a lot of description of teaching right here. He's not giving much else right now. I'm starting to wane back towards the other side. I'd love to hear some intensity and fire. We know this guy's known for his intensity. You do hear a little bit. All right, we'll wait till he gets to the end because I want you to listen to the end too.
He'll get, moment. And I'll tell you this, now he loves he loves mixing it up with the players. He'll get in there and demonstrate an individual drill, or fall on a loose ball, fumble, or whatever it might be. He doesn't mind getting dirty. So that's pretty cool.
I'm kind of into these coaches who can't let it go in that sense. You see Dan Campbell on Hard Knocks a couple of years ago. He's down there doing the burpees with everybody. He's doing all the workouts and stuff. I still got it. He's one of those guys. If Ryan Nielsen's jumping on loose balls, screaming fumble and jumping in the pile, that's kind of impressive. I don't think that's actually happening. But.
No, Aaron Schachter. I had a coach, Ken Thomas.
Never
forget. He played at University of Illinois, and I'll never forget. We had goal line practice, right? Part of practice. And the running backs weren't getting it done. They weren't running the ball up in there. Up in there. How about this man? Huh?
Oh, boy. Grab the ball?
15 years removed from his heyday at University of Illinois. Up in Champaign, Illinois, wherever that's at.
Sure.
No helmet. No shoulder pads. No thigh pads. No cleats. And he was like, run it again.
He's just in there in his Sperry's.
We looking at Coach like, hey, Coach, what you doing? What you gonna do? I mean, okay. Don't you know we ran it 3 more times when he got done? He got in the end zone every time. Granted, again, former collegiate football player. We in high school at the time. So, he had a couple of decades on us. He had lifted more weights. This man had a split from the middle of his forehead to his nose. Blood just a dripping. Talking about that's how you do it.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was like, Coach, nah, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That's not how I do it. Where are you coming from with this?
A whole future ahead of me. That's not how I do it.
That's high school. Huh?
I'm not trying to get brain mush in 9th grade, Coach. Sorry.
I feel like there's something called CTE out there. I'm not sure. I just feel it in my bones, and I don't want to do that right there.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, that's cool that he mixes it up with the NFL players like that.
I do think it's awesome to see the passion, right? It's a little bit of a divergence from what we had the last few seasons with Caldwell. Granted, a lot of guys on that team love the way he coached, but he wasn't this kind of guy. I think we're going to see that stand out as one of the early differences that becomes very apparent for everybody. But, Doug was also asked about the Trev deal. The question that was asked to him was, is it actually that important to get the deal done before the start of the regular season? And the question is interesting in that you don't have to do it this year. You got another offseason to figure it out. But it does seem like everybody's hot to trot. It seems like the front office is really looking to get a deal done. It seems like Trevor's representation is excited to get a deal done. It seems like the city is waiting with bated breath to hear that Trev is now the highest paid player in football. Here's what Doug said about it.
I think it's part of the business, but, I mean, obviously the sooner you get it done, right, it's behind everybody. And now we focus on football.
Are we not focusing on football, though? Is anyone really at OTAs going, yeah, I'm going to run that route, but how's the negotiations going? Are we doing anything there? Like maybe the fans aren't. Maybe the fans are focused on the deal. Maybe the national media is focused on it because you need something to talk about for the next 16 weeks.
You're just not a fan of getting this deal done or even really focusing on it right now.
I don't really care either way. It's not about fan or not fan.
But you've held steadfast to this basic line of thinking,
I'm not
or
sure
the
that
way you presented it. Like, you just like, if you can get it done, fine. But you got another year or something like why do you seemingly why are you so against getting this deal out of the way so it's not a talking point or it's not something that you have to worry about?
Well, I'm glad you asked, so I can point out your gross misrepresentation of how I feel.
Gross is,
It is a gross misrepresentation of how I feel. I would like to see the deal get done. I want Trev here for a long time. I like Trevor Lawrence as the quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
Like, is there a countdown clock? No.
See, and it's that part right there. The countdown clock? No.
This isn't the Josh Allen deal. There isn't. All it means is more money for the Jaguars to pay.
Is that all it means?
That doesn't bother me. What do I care about that? What do I care whether Trev gets 53 or 57? Like, we could talk about it. I care about it and talking about it, but it doesn't affect my life. All I care about is where is he lining up under center next year? Here. That's all that matters to me.
And so that's not lingering, and that's not out there.
Again, I don't think it's lingering, but okay, that's fine.
I know Trent and his agent, excuse me.
Trent and Trevor's agent. It sounded like he was talking about Trent's agent, which would be wild if the GM has an agent. It's like, well, you guys have agents, so I'm going to get an agent too. He's talking about Trent and Trevor's agent.
And his agent, excuse me, they've continued to talk, and we'll.
Apologies for twice in a row playing Doug clearing his throat. I promise I won't do it again.
No, I know Trent and his agent, excuse me, they've continued to talk, and we'll talk, and they're working hard and tirelessly, and you know, I just gotta coach Trevor and coach football, and hopefully it gets done, and it will.
He's basically like, can you stop asking? I'm not in the negotiations. I don't know. I want Trevor here. I want Trent to do the thing. I want Trevor to sign the thing.
Or maybe you should get in the negotiations so you got more than what you just said.
You know what I mean?
Because we're going to keep asking.
They asked Doug what he's looking for Trevor. Third year from Lawrence at OTAs. You know, what is he bringing to the table this time of year? I don't love the question, but I'll let you listen to the answer. It's Trevor related.
How well he, incorporates some of the young players that we do have, that we're working with and developing, and obviously, Brian being one of them now. And
which, by the way, yeah, now is the time of year you throw to Brian Thomas Jr. as much as possible. Preseason is the time of year you throw to Brian Thomas Jr. as much, because I can promise you he's not getting 12 targets week one.
Working with Mitch, working with Luke, all these guys getting.
Second Fortner mentioned at the press conference, by the way.
Getting time with Gabe and, just getting comfortable there. But I think the leadership part of leading this football team, right, and really, embracing that, I think this time of year, and that carries over to camp.
Being the leader. And it's the only reason I don't really love the question. It's like, come on, what are we getting here? What are we getting? You need him to lead.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to pay him $55 a year. He's the leader of the team.
Looking for him to lead us to wins this season. I mean,
he is the on-field general of your multi-billion-dollar football franchise. Which leads me to the fact that I am now convinced that if Trev doesn't get the highest contract, if Trev isn't the highest paid quarterback in the game, average annual value, he's going to be real close.
I got to get this sound effect. I'll work on it tonight.
Is that a hot take?
Well, you just keep saying, well, it's a hot take for you because the past 3 weeks,
yep,
you just been like, there's Lamar,
yep,
there's Tua,
yep,
there's Daniel Jones, there's Kyler Murray, all these people. And now all of a sudden he's right next to the top. I'm like, Aaron Schachter, I need a hotkey.
I think you're quoting
when
we listed who was getting paid what. But you've never once heard me say,
Aaron,
Trev's going to come somewhere between
Aaron, you
Daniel Jones and
you said it was
Kyler
Daniel
Murray.
Jones.
What?
Jordan Love.
What?
Oh, boy, Jacoby Brissett.
You sure about that?
And 16. And I was like, that's wild talk from you, a Jags kind of fan.
He's going to land somewhere between Joe Burrow and Bo Nix.
Okay. That's just real life. Oh boy. No, but I've always been there. I agree with you. I think for what the contract is when he signs it, I think he'll be near the top, if not the top.
I definitely think that's how it's going to go down. Consider a few things. The alternative for all of these conversations, to Trevor, whoever else just signed a contract, the alternative is really messy. That is all of the leverage, essentially, if not nearly all of the leverage. What do you do if you don't get it done? Which is why it has to get done, right? Once it has to get done, now the question is, how far can the agent push the deal before real breakdowns start to happen in the conversations? And I think the Tua one is a little more interesting in that than the Trevor one is, because I think the whole team is on the same page when it comes to the Trevor deal. The Tua one, it doesn't seem like everyone's on the same page with.
There's common sense, and then there's, let's pay Tua a lot of money.
I'll tell you this, just like I told you I thought Trev was going to be the highest AAV, I think Tua's going to be right there. Maybe not above Burrow, but I don't think he's below Herbert. I think he's right in there. And I don't know that he's earned it. I don't know that he deserves it, or whatever word you want to use to describe that. But
go ahead.
I was going to say, I do think that's what they're going to have to pay the guy.
I don't necessarily disagree with your point. What if you would put Justin Herbert on the Miami offense?
7,000 yards a year, 55 touchdowns a season.
Like, hey, man.
But here's my point, and we'll dive more into Tua and Trevor on the next segment. My point is Herbert's not on the Dolphins. He's not.
Thank you.
I know it's obvious. I know I'm giving you some Michelle Thibodeau insight here. Michelle Thibodeau level insight. I'm just saying it doesn't matter what he would be like on the Dolphins. He got paid the bag on the Chargers.
I feel like you're making my point, but I get what you're saying about Tua. Yeah,
but what's he going to do this year on the Chargers? He's not throwing 5,000 yards with that team this year.
We don't know.
Have you looked at the wide receiver room?
We don't know.
I feel fairly confident. That's
cool.
We'll come back with the Jeremy Fowler report that had everybody up in arms in 2 different cities over the weekend.
You certain Justin Herbert's not on?
I'll have to double check.
Okay.
I'll double check. It's the Aaron Schachter Show.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and cooler on this Monday as onshore winds set up, keeping our temperatures in the low 80s and upper 70s at the beaches. We'll make the low 80s in Jacksonville with mostly to partly sunny skies and an isolated shower moving in off the Atlantic. Have a great Monday. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
I'm sure many of you guys feel like you wish you could be as fit as you were in your 20s. The dad bod is really tough to shed. I'm Dr. Lance Snyder, and I did something about it through Dr. Rappaport at the Jax Aesthetic Center. I'm active, I played college sports, and I still work out a few times a week. Nothing worked. As a doctor and a dad, I want to be around as long as possible and feel good about my body. Dr. Rappaport put together a personalized treatment plan that worked. It was easy for me to make appointments, get to those appointments, and get back to work in time. I also recommend the Emsella chair for any urinary issues or ED. Dr. Rappaport has state-of-the-art treatment options for men. And the M-Sculpt Neo is an abs blast. 20,000 crunches in 30 minutes. Give yourself your own gift this Father's Day at the Jax Aesthetic Center. Build muscle and lose fat. Call or text today, 904-808-2455. That's 904-808-2455. You won't be sorry.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
Downtown Jax, big on potential, slow on progress.
We're so ready for something to develop.
But could Tampa have the blueprint to save us from a doomed downtown?
That singular event transformed our city.
I'm Action News Jax John Bachman in downtown Tampa. I talked one-on-one with the former mayor here to get the secret to turning renderings into reality.
We refer to it as an overnight success 40 years in the making.
Renderings to reality. Today at 5:45 on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Wenner is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial *invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems, they'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. Come have lunch with us every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and listen to the Young and Norvell Show on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901, talking Trevor Lawrence's contract. Doug Pederson says he'd like to get it behind him. He'd like to focus on football. Apparently during drills, he's only thinking about guaranteed money and team void years. Like, there's no way. There's no way he cared. He doesn't want to be asked the questions in the press conference, but he forgets those things the second he walks out there.
Yeah.
You don't think Trev's going to get the top of the market money, do you?
No. I think that he probably will. That's where I've been at.
More than Burrow.
Yeah, well, yeah, but not because I think to this point in their careers that he's done more, he's been better than Joe Burrow, but because of where the market's going. So it's going to be more money because this is when he signed. But if Joe Burrow signed a re-up 2 hours afterwards, it'd be more than Trevor if he was the top guy. It's that kind of deal.
You remember when Mahomes signed that monster deal?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, whoa.
What was that, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
I think it was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 2020.
Oh, man.
It's 4 years ago. Do you know how old Mahomes was when he signed that deal?
He must have been 24?
24.
Yeah.
Remember when Kyler Murray signed the deal and it was 46? Everyone thought 45 was to the moon?
That was wild.
46 for Kyler? You know how old he was when he signed that deal?
24?
24 years old. Then suddenly Jalen Hurts breaking the $50 million barrier. People saw Jalen Hurts' $51 million average annual value contract coming. You want to take a guess?
27?
24.
Okay, that's because...
This is, in my opinion, part of the premium.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying for a guy who by the end of the deal is going to be 30, unless you're signing him to 10 years. I mean, who knows if it's going to be a long-term contract. You're paying for a guy who's younger than a lot of rookies coming into the league. And he's on his second deal. And he's good. That alone. The going rate for the quarterback, the youngness, the fact that he is such hand-to-glove fit for the market. I often think about this. The Jets were in prime pole position to draft Trevor Lawrence, and they end up winning their last 2 games. Shout out to Todd Bowles. We appreciate it. Had the Jets lost those games and drafted Trevor Lawrence, you think it would have been a good fit, Trev, in New York?
Because of the pieces that they put around them, if they still got Breece Hall.
I'm not talking football. I'm not talking a football conversation.
Oh, yeah, he would have been able to handle that.
I'm talking small-town Georgia kid.
He would have been able to handle it.
Who played at Clemson.
He would have handled it.
Which, Garrett, Clemson is a big stage. The SEC is a big stage. But Clemson life, Georgia life, is different than New Jersey, New York life. It takes a different kind of person to enjoy that.
Listen, because he could make all of the throws that Zach Wilson couldn't.
Zach Wilson didn't mesh well with that New York style.
Because Trevor is a happily married man and does not seemingly want to go after mothers. Allegedly.
Another reason it wouldn't work out for him in New York.
No, I'm telling you right now, Trevor and Marissa would be New York royalty right now.
No, absolutely. New York would want to turn him into royalty. I'm saying I don't think he'd enjoy living there, the hustle and bustle.
I don't know, man.
Apartment
a 22-year-old
living.
kid, multimillionaire? Yeah, maybe I do want to enjoy living here for a second. We can always go up to the Hamptons if we want things to slow down, right?
Trevor, to me, has always seemed like he embraced that small-town heritage he's got.
Maybe.
And to me, to go to the Jaguars, I mean, you've got one of two options if you favor small-town living in the NFL. That's not true. I guess you can count teams like, it's not like Buffalo is one of the biggest cities in the world. You just have to like cold, I guess. But you could find small spots to live in Buffalo. But really, relative to other cities, if you're talking Chicago versus a Green Bay or L.A. versus a Jacksonville, these are smaller cities in that scope, which is part of the reason I think the fit is so good here. Trevor Lawrence is not someone you're going to find at the club at 2 a.m.
Like his predecessor.
Just not that guy. Now, Will Levis, you can see Will Levis in one of those cities partying all night.
How are you garnering that from the mayonnaise and the coffee? Like,
Not
how
just the interviews you've seen, the personality he's got. I look at Will Levis, I'm like, yeah, he'd probably enjoy that kind of life. I think back on that sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know that fit would have been great for Trevor anyway. But here he is in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
The fit is with the team as well. They've built around him.
Let's do it.
They're making the team in the stadium in his image.
Oh, that's the $1.2 billion.
So for those reasons alone, you're going to pay him top of the market. You also don't want to risk playing around with this one.
I just love the fact that you've come over to this side, man, because you were worrying me for about 3.5 weeks.
Give it 2 more weeks. I'll be back.
Give Trevor $42 million in.
Not 42. I mean, never said a number with the number 4 in it.
I'm paraphrasing the number, Aaron. I'm not saying you said exactly 42. You said like 45, 41.
I did not.
33 or something like that.
You are going to get sued by me. This is absolute libel and defamation.
Allegedly.
I did say I didn't think he was going to be at Burrow's level, but I thought he would come somewhere between Jalen Hurts' 51, Burrow's 55. I'm now convinced it's either at Burrow's 55 or just under at 54 or just over at like 56, 57. Yeah. But again, that's average. I don't think that's I don't think you're ever going to see Trev with an upfront cap hit in these first couple of years of anything that's ballooned or salacious. Because I do think Trev wants the team to be able to build around him.
Absolutely. After this past season, like, hey, make sure we always got enough money for the offensive line. For the pass blocking, please.
So Jeremy Fowler is on SportsCenter on Sunday morning talking about these contracts out there, specifically Trevor, Tua, and Dak. And he basically is reporting something that we've all heard this whole time. He's reiterating through his sources, though, that the Jaguars are, quote, all in on Trevor Lawrence. The contract talks are reportedly ongoing. Obviously, we're hearing that from Trent. We heard it from Trevor. We heard it from Doug. Fowler's just repeating it at this point. But Fowler is saying they'll be above that $50 million number, and he's calling it one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. So can you say that if he's number 6? I guess technically you want to nitpick. One of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league could be number 6, I guess. I think he's talking top 3. Burrow, Goff, Herbert. Those are your top 3. 55, 53? Just kidding. Yeah, 55, 53, and 52.5. It's a perfect spot for Trev to slot in at 54 if you want. Works for me. Works for the Jaguars. And then obviously Trev's the kind of guy it seems like who wants to retire a Jaguar at a time where no one retires with their team anymore.
Whoa. You taking it a little too far now.
No, I'm just saying.
You think he wants to stick with one team?
Yes. I'm just saying I don't think this is a 4-year deal with a 2-year option. If I'm the Jags, I'm interested in that 10-year deal. I don't know if Trev's interested. You want to build opportunities to get pay raises, significant paydays in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were able to do it in the Mahomes. It looks like it's worked out just fine. They're about to tear it up and do another one. 10-year deal doesn't actually mean 10 years.
Of course not. What am I thinking?
It doesn't.
I know, but I'm saying,
Now, this contrasts significantly with the report we're hearing on Tua. In that same Jeremy Fowler report, Jeremy Fowler is reporting that the Dolphins' initial contract offer to Tua Tagovailoa was apparently below expectations from Tua's camp. He says, quote, he had missed some OTA time, I've confirmed, and it could really depend on how negotiations go with the contract as to whether he starts to show up or is there full time. Meanwhile, we do have breaking news. Tua did show up at OTAs today. So he did show up. But that doesn't negate the fact that the contract talks are not going smooth, according to Jeremy Fowler and other Dolphins insiders. Quote, they've had contract talks, preliminary talks. I'm told that the Dolphins have made at least one contract offer, but we know how these things go. The offer apparently hasn't been good enough, or he'd probably already be there at OTAs, which, by the way, he is now. So the market is pretty set. We saw Goff, $50+ million a year. That's going to apply to Tua as well as Trevor Lawrence. I think Tua is looking to be north of 50. I find it hard to believe if Tua is saying I should be north of 55. Maybe they are. Maybe he's asking for that. I'm not sure if he thinks he's going to get it. But I do think you have another situation in Miami. You have similar to Jacksonville, where maybe Tua hasn't earned $56 million a year. But what is the alternative for the Dolphins? Now, we'll say it might be easier for the Dolphins to bring on somebody else than it would be a team like the Jaguars. When you've got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Odell Beckham Jr., Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, it seems like you'd be able to bring in a quarterback there who would get elevated by the talent around him. And that's not to say guys like Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram can't help elevate Trevor. But I think most of the fans of this team look at Trevor as elevating his receivers, not the other way around. Now, whether that's the case or not remains to be seen, I guess. But it sounds like the Tua deal not going as planned right now.
Great.
And it sounds like the Trevor deal progressing.
Even better.
And it's interesting timing that PFF comes out with this today. I don't know if you saw the headline, ranking the top 25 players ranking the top 25 players under the age of 25.
Okay.
Entering the 2024 season. You want to take a guess what number Trev shows up on the list?
Let's see.
Spoiler alert, Trevor's on the list.
I would argue under 25.
Top 25 under 25.
He's probably like somewhere. Okay, I'm going to give you a range. 9 to 12.
At number 9, you've got Garrett Wilson. Shout out to my guy from Ohio State.
Yeah, He's cooking.
At number 10, Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. So good, they told L'Jarius Sneed to kick rocks.
Yeah. Okay, he might be higher. Go
At
ahead.
11, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, boy, never mind.
Part of St. Brown and St. Brown, the law firm.
Okay.
12 is Puka Nacua.
Yeah, holy smokes. All right. Where they got him at on there? Because we're talking about just splash and this past season. It's tough for me to put him above any of those guys, but none of those guys are quarterbacks.
Well, we said nothing about one season. We said the top 25 players under the age of 25.
Yeah, but like Puka's been in for one season, so it's going to be a splash there. Trent McDuffie's been there for, 2 seasons now? Like, Trevor's been there. He's going into his 4th season. He's been in the league 3 years. So, but where is he at on the list, Aaron? Educate me.
He's in the top 5.
Holy smoke.
I'm going to give you 5 names. I'm going to give you the top 5 names.
Okay.
You tell me where you think he slots.
Okay. 4.
You ready?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Part of this top 5 includes Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Good for him.
Kyle Hamilton at the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner, New York Jets.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell just got a new contract from the Lions.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase, Cincinnati Bengals.
I keep forgetting that he was born in
Kyle Hamilton, Jamar Chase, Trevor Lawrence,
4.
Sauce Gardner, Penei Sewell. Where do you got?
I'd put him 4.
Who? Trev.
16. I'd put him number 4.
Number 4 is Jamar Chase.
Really?
According to PFF.
Okay, well, they got analytics. I mean, listen, I guess I got to go up higher. I'm not putting him 5, so 3?
Trevor Lawrence comes in at number 3 on this list.
Okay.
It goes Penei Sewell.
Sauce.
Basically the best left tackle in the game right now as a young cat. Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Basically the best corner in the game as a young cat.
Yeah.
Trev, who, if you look at PFF's, I know people hate to do it, but if you look at PFF, Not only did he have a stellar year in which he took the Jaguars to the playoffs, but last year, which everyone thinks is a disaster, we were looking at this offense even when they were 8-3 going, this isn't the way it's supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
Through 13 games, he was ranked 5th overall, PFF.
Wow.
5th overall in quarterbacks through 13 games. I'm not talking 8-3. Through 15 games, right up until the injuries. Or really, after the injuries started. 2 weeks after the injuries started. 5th best quarterback in the league. Now, PFF, when they calculate those grades, they're looking at each play going, whose fault, where, and when.
Yeah.
To the best of their abilities. Granted, they're not play calling. But they do have experts and coaches and people looking at this film trying to assign plus or minus grades to everyone on the tape. Love him or hate him in your own opinion, the experts who work over at PFF say even during the year of the collapse, this was a top 5 player. Jamar Chase, number 4. Kyle Hamilton, number 5. Aiden Hutchinson, number 6. C.J. Stroud, number 7.
Okay.
Brock Purdy, 8. I told you Garrett Wilson and Trent McDuffie, 9 and 10. The bad news.
Trayvon Walker.
Well, he's not on this list. The bad news is that the Houston
26?
Texans, he might be 26, yes.
Okay.
The bad news is the Houston Texans have 3 guys on this top 25 under 25 list. C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
The good news, you don't find one guy on the Titans or the Colts on this list. All right, so as much hype as those teams are getting for the decisions they're making, it's still the young core has a lot to be desired. And look at Trev going, hey, give me my money. Read this article. Hey, Trent Baalke, take this.
Negotiation tactic.
Take this to the bathroom and read this.
I'm going to send you the link right now, okay?
I'll send you the link. You got some time?
So Trayvon Walker, 26, though. You did confirm that?
I assume he's like 26th or 27th on the list.
Because he's not on that list?
Not in type, not in words.
That's nasty work
Maybe
by
in
PFF. I hate
spirit,
that for
he
him.
might be in that list. He might be on the list next year. How old is he?
He's going to be on it next year.
He might be older than 25. Double check that, too.
He might have been born in 1980, 1990. I can't do math that quick.
He's 23. Maybe next year.
He's got 2 years to make the list.
He might earn it based on how he played last year. It's the Aaron Schachter Show, back in a couple of minutes to wrap it up on ESPN 690.
Hi, everyone. Terry Norvell here, along with Patrick Young from the Young and Norvell Show.
Our show is going great, and we are looking to grow the show with some new advertising partners.
If you're a business owner looking to market your product or service to a male, high-income, and college-educated audience, we are the show for you.
Just reach out for more information with a call or a text to 904-305-7526.
That's right. I'll get in touch with you, and we'll put together a budget-friendly marketing plan on our show exclusively for your business. Call or text me, Terry Norvell. That number again, 904-305-7526, and let's get you on our team.
This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call, and you can too. Get a free consultation with QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau, and here's why you want to give QC Kinetics a call if you're dealing with joint pain, because you can't do anything you love to do, especially the outdoor stuff during the summer. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulders. Free consultation at 904-274-5522. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, no downtime. And QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way, and there is. Call QC Kinetics and get a free consultation. 904-274-5522.
English Premier League soccer returns this summer. Don't miss your chance to see teams from the biggest league in the world here in Jacksonville as they compete for the first trophy of the season, the Stateside Cup. Be there when English Premier League's Wolves and West Ham take the pitch July 27th at Everbank Stadium, home of the Jaguars. With the series trophy on the line, competition will be fierce. Tickets on sale now for as low as $35. Buy your tickets today at statesidecup.com. That's statesidecup.com.
Spring has sprung, and tax return season is here. Now's the time to beautify your home by replacing your old windows with new energy-efficient, easy-to-clean windows from American Window Products. Keep the summer heat out with special glass packages, including low E3 and argon gas. American Window Products only uses the highest quality products and professionally trained employees to install. Call now to find out why they were voted the #1 window company in Jacksonville. 731-2247 for a free estimate, or visit AmericanWindowProducts.com.
Hi, I'm Elton John. In 1981, the first case of AIDS was diagnosed in the United States. More than 40 years later, we have the tools and medicine to beat AIDS. My foundation is bringing HIV testing and care to underserved and vulnerable communities. If you share my vision of a world where everyone is treated with love, respect, and dignity, join me. Learn more about the Rocket Fund at eltonjohnaidsfoundation.org. Follow us at EJAF on Instagram. Thank you.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
We're David and Greg Figueroa, founders of Melinda's Hot Sauce.
Customers say we've ruined all other hot sauces for them.
So, we're sorry.
For rocking your world.
We're sorry we craft hot sauces from fresh, hot, flavorful ingredients, while other brands just use dried spice dust and vinegar. So a moment of silence.
Set your mouth on flavor with Melinda's Hot Sauces. Find them at your local retailer or online at melindas.com. That's MELINDAS.com.
Hey guys, we're the Twin Peaks Girls. We just love guys that listen to the Young and Norvell Show. Weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, final segment of the day. We'll get to what did I learn in just a second. We did have one or two more cuts that I wanted to get through that I thought were interesting from the Doug press conference, so we can finally extinguish the entirety of Doug's portion of the press conference. Brian, Doug was asked this: when will the 2023 draft class have an opportunity to prove they're ready to take the next step in their careers? When will the 2023 draft class, if you need a reminder, those names include Brenton Strange, Tank Bigsby, Anton Harrison, Antonio Johnson, but also names like Ventrell Miller, Yasir Abdullah, Eric Hallett, Tyler Lacey, Cooper Hodges, Parker Washington, and the list goes on and on and on.
It's not a serious question, is it? Is that a serious question?
Well, they're going to get an opportunity, now through phase 3.
Does Doug sound excited?
No.
Okay.
And again, through training camp, but some of those guys
are not going to see the field. Is that okay? Hold on.
But some of those guys did some good things this past year, for us, and we got to continue the growth and development. And
sure.
And each year is is like starting over. The competition starts over and everything else, and that really, I think, starts really these next 3.5 weeks or so.
Forget about some of the guys who you just didn't see last year, because there were a few of those. And I know you shouldn't be forgetting about them if we're talking about the 2023 draft class. You really you shouldn't forget about it. You should be considering all of them. But forget those guys. Even the guys you did see from. The Tank Bigsbys, the Brenton Stranges, the Antonio Johnsons. We don't have to count Anton Harrison here. He was drafted to be a starter. He's a starter. When is the opportunity for him to show what he's got? It's every single game. He gets to play every snap.
Every game. Every game.
But a guy like Derek Parrish, or this season, if no one really has any big injuries in the wide receiver room, a guy like Parker Washington, we may never see it. And to me, it's a red mark on Trent Baalke's resume.
Okay.
To have that many draft picks, to be able to use almost none of them.
Now you're talking.
Significantly.
Baalke slander. Now you're talking, Aaron Schachter.
That's on him.
Yeah.
I saw GM rankings the other day. I brought him to my prep sheet. I've been
Top
holding him for a
GMs
little bit.
under 65.
I've been holding him for a little bit because I want to dig in on those rankings, because it's one of those things where you don't really know about other teams' GMs unless you do deals with them. Like if you're a fan of a team, you're not well versed in the GM of some NFC team if you're a Jaguars fan, unless of course you just did a deal with them and then you maybe learned a little bit in whatever got written after that.
Yeah.
But we do have a ranking of all 32 GMs. I think it's worthwhile to compare Trent to some of his cohorts. And so we'll do that a little bit later this week. But when will the 23 draft class have an opportunity to prove they're ready? I mean, Doug's not wrong. It's now. Because once we're done with OTAs, I'm not sure you get back on the field.
Yeah, Aaron, I know we got only a couple minutes left, but I wanted your not great questions music right there, because they've been since they've been able to touch the field with their cleats at the stadium where they practice at. That's when they've had a chance to what?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But in defense of the person who asked the question, really, I think the question was, are some of those guys a lost cause? Are we ever going to see them? Are they too buried?
Are they too buried? Okay.
I guess time will tell. Some of these guys were recovering from injury last year. For some of these guys, there's just not room on the depth chart in front of them.
You make room. I hear. I don't know. Never been in the NFL.
Okay.
I hear you make room.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. You should tell these guys.
No. That's why I said I don't know. I'll never get to that height, Aaron, so I don't know.
How about some What Did I Learn Today? Welcome to What Did I Learn on the Aaron Schachter Show, where we review the things we learned today during the show. Can we bring this down a little bit more? Thank you. The things we learned today during our conversation that maybe we didn't know before we got here. Brian, you want to kick us off?
Sure, man. I learned that Aaron Schachter, regardless if he considers you a friend or not, will sue you if he doesn't like what's coming out of your mouth, no matter how truthful you are about his former opinions about the franchise QB of the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what I learned, Aaron Schachter.
I guess that means I can't say what I learned about you, which was that you're about to get sued for defamation by me. Look at us on the same page. This is what they call nonverbal communication, Brian.
Really
This is us in OTAs right now. We're showing it.
Look at that.
This is how you get it done. I also learned that Trayvon Walker must be number 26 on the 25 players under the age of 25 list that PFF put out.
Oh,
and we didn't really see him there. What else you got?
I learned that Aaron believes that Walker Little should be the fill-in Gabe Davis. Oh, I took it.
Dang it.
Yeah, I took it. Yeah, boy. Give me another point.
You get 3 points for stealing mine.
He should be fill-in Gabe Davis because Doug Pederson may or may not want Gabe Davis there more.
What I learned, I should say, was that Walker Little's new assignment is being sent to Gabe Davis's house to babysit.
Oh, yours is much more fluid.
Well, it's what we said. It's what I learned. I also learned that Brian Thomas Jr. has some learning to do, some more to learn, but it could be worse. It could be a Drake Mays situation, and it's definitely not. It's been the Aaron Schachter Show. Tomorrow, we hear from defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen. Also, more fun and frivolity. ESPN 690. You can find our show at ESPN690.com. Download the podcast while you're there. Poke around on the website. Be careful not to get poked back. It gets dangerous out there on the internet. We'll see you guys tomorrow right here on ESPN 690.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial *invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Jacksonville Coogies. It's me, Soccer Sam from Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizzeria is now open in Jacksonville, Florida. Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. $10 daily deals, dine-in beer and wine, and delivery. Salvatores.com.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Downtown Jax, big on potential, slow on progress.
We're so ready for something to develop.
But could Tampa have the blueprint to save us from a doomed downtown?
That singular event transformed our city.
I'm Action News Jax John Bachman in downtown Tampa. I talked one-on-one with the former mayor here to get the secret to turning renderings into reality.
We refer to it as an overnight success, 40 years in the making.
Renderings to reality. Today at 5:45 on CBS 47 and Fox 30, Action News Jax.
Hi, it's me, your plumber, with important information for anyone interested in safe, soft, filtered water. Don't drink bottled water. Get advice from someone you trust, buy a water filter, and don't call those high-priced water guys. Instead, call me, your plumber. I recommend Safety Zone water systems, so you get top-quality equipment, affordable prices, and you'll save money too. Safety Zone is your #1 choice considering price, performance, and reliability.
Safety Zone Water is the single-source water treatment supplier for the plumbing industry. Our distributor is Nolan Company Jacksonville, the leading plumbing wholesaler for water treatment in Northeast Florida. For sales and service, contact your local plumber or visit us at safetyzonewater.com.
Safety Zone Water.
The #1 water brand recommended by plumbers.
Meet Mike Lester.
Talent is not going to be the right choice for every single person out there, right? Because everybody is different. We do well when our clients do well. We're literally sitting on the same side of the table with them. We're in this together.
Yeah.
When you do well, I'll do well. Once we have that understanding, then we can come up with a plan that's designed to help you be successful in retirement.
Find out more at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Florida License D056341.
Dude Wipes presents ASSMR. This is what your butt feels when you clean it with regular, dry toilet paper. And this is how clean your butt feels when you wipe with wet, extra large, flushable Dude Wipes. Refreshing. Dude Wipes. Best clean. Pants down.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market.